Great. So I have a number of things around me. Um, this is both the least prepared I've been for this show and the most prepared I've been for this show. Because I didn't do anything. I mean, I watched the menu last night, but only because you did, and I was like, that sounds like a good idea.
I agree. It was a very good idea, which we'll talk a little bit more about. But yeah, we didn't really have to do like an assload of research for this. You've just kind of been watching movies throughout the year, which you just generally tend to watch a lot more movies than I do, Jack. So I definitely spent some time the past few days padding out my 2022 viewing resume.
Would you like to guess how many movies I watched last year?
Oh man. In total or just for 2022 movies?
Total. I didn't separate them.
Okay. In total, oh fuck. I'm gonna guess north of 50.
Yes, quite a bit.
Okay.
Quite a bit more than 50.
I mean, I'm not even north of 50, including movies we watched for the show. So at least I don't think I am, but 70.
183.
Jesus fuck, Jack!
The excuse I normally give people when I'm like, oh yeah, I watched like 20 movies this month, is that I don't tend to watch a lot of TV.
Oh, that's where my calculation got fucked up. I in my brain I'm going, he usually watches like 4 movies a month. No, that's like 4 movies a week at least.
Right.
So that's like 5 movies a week at least. So yeah, no, I fucked up my units of measure.
Right, like I'm 5 movies into the year so far.
I mean, So am I, but that's because I rushed and watched like 5 2022 movies in real quick succession the past few days.
Yes. So you probably have watched more movies in the way in like 2022 movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't separate the two.
Yeah, after this morning, actually, I'm up to 13 movies that came out in 2022. No matter what IMDb or Letterboxd say about Mad God, that shit came out in 2022. You fucks.
I mean, there are some movies that technically came out like years and years before us human people could watch them, us normal folk.
Jack, do you have access to alien cinema?
I've seen some weird shit. Yeah, there's I've recently been going on you can't watch that legally binge where
excellent.
I won't name the market because I'm not a dirty snitch, but
that's right.
They
take that out, FBI agent who's listening to us at all times.
Yeah, you poor son of a bitch. There's this site that does they sell like bootleg DVDs.
Sure.
For a while, Dogma was one that they put out because
you can't get it anywhere without paying a fucking arm and a leg for it right now because the fucking Weinstein still have the rights to it.
Well, for whatever reason, I checked last night and a DVD copy's down to what a DVD copy should be.
Oh,
which is like $10.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, so
I can finally maybe get a widescreen copy then.
Yeah. But what did I watch last night? I watched a movie called Neo Tokyo.
I've heard of that.
It's an anthology film of 3 anime shorts.
So there's also a webcomic called Neo Tokyo, isn't there?
Oh God, yeah. I used to.
No, that's Mega Tokyo. Never mind.
Mega Tokyo. That brings me back.
I know, right?
I feel very old today. In general, I feel very old today.
And I just made it worse.
Yeah, you made it way worse. God, I had heartburn from water.
From water?
Yeah.
Oh my God, man, that's the worst.
This little peek for the audience. This is the end of my first week at my new job.
Your new position at your job, yeah.
So learning a whole lot of new things, a lot of new personalities specifically.
Sure.
In the long run, I think this will be better for me, but right now I'm a little drained.
Fair.
Specifically because I've never used this sleep schedule where I'm waking up at like 5. It's not. Given left to my own devices, I will wake up at like 11 and go to sleep around 3.
Yeah, same.
So with that in mind, I'm sorry, Joe. All the truths to shepherds.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
Hey, welcome to DeRazzled's, the podcast that takes award-winning worst films and fixes them. I'm host Jack Culbertson, here to suffer alongside me, as always, is also host Joe Nealis.
Good evening, afternoon. Have a wonderful time, everyone.
Wherever you are in this universe or another.
I'm being inclusive of time here. You're not listening right as we're recording this, are you?
I guess if they're on Twitch, they could be.
That's actually fair.
Which I think is the core theme of this episode is what is time? It doesn't matter. Because you were like, hey, let's have a relaxed fit episode where we talk about, we'll do like top 10 for the year.
Yeah, why not?
And I took that and said, no. How about we just do a top 10 of whatever the fuck? Whenever the fuck.
Oh, that's news to me.
It is news to you. You're learning just now.
What the hell?
Which is why, and I knew this was coming, I'm giving you this sticker sheet with cats on it.
Oh, okay.
You can have one.
I have one?
You can have one.
Okay, I'm going to look over it very carefully then.
And they're pretty cute. I found them at a secret manga store
they're very
in
good.
Bellevue.
In Bellevue? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. Goro Goro and Nansuke. Okay. Which one do I want? They are pretty cute.
There's one on my laptop that's a very tiny little cat giving the finger. So, as well as talking about movies, I also wanted to talk about what I refer to as not so much a journal as a log, a log book.
Sure.
Where I write down a little this is what happened today, as well as my creative histogram, which is where I track all of my artsy things.
Right, you've done that for quite a while.
Yeah,
where
that's been a couple years.
Yeah, every new year you post the entire list of every single creative endeavor you've done.
I have to do that this year.
It's still January. It's fine.
As well as talking about Jack 5.0, because if I've learned anything, people gravitate towards the episodes where I talk about trauma. You sick fucks. So we're gonna do that because
I'll pick my cat sticker later.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of good ones.
There's a lot of good ones.
It's like the Gudetama of cats.
That poor sad egg.
The poor sad lazy egg. Who knew an uncooked egg would be so relatable?
Honestly.
So that is what I mean by I've done the most research and the least research.
That does explain that. I assumed that you meant that you just naturally watch a shit ton of movies, so you were just preternaturally prepared for this. So yeah, that does elucidate a little bit more what you meant by that. So how do you want to jump in here then?
Well, I think we should ease ourselves in.
Okay.
With some movies, because this is a movie podcast.
Sure.
This really is just like the list episode. I also keep a list of movies that I want to watch each year.
Well, yeah, we had talking about what movies that we're excited about for 2023. Yes. There's a number of them.
Yeah, and the way my list works is as I'm seeing a trailer or a movie's announced, I'm like, I want to check that out. I'll put it on a little notepad on my phone.
Yeah.
And then
that's a good idea. I gotta start doing that.
It's helpful.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm like, what movie do I want to watch tonight? Oh, is there any that are out right now that are on this list?
There you go.
And then I will roll over any that I'm like, I didn't have a chance to watch this, but I still Last Night in Soho was.
Oh, I still need to see that.
Yeah,
fuck.
Exactly. I'm like, I didn't
even think about that. Fuck. I feel like a bad Edgar Wright fan. Shit.
Was that 20?
That was 2022, I think.
Okay, I feel weird rolling a movie over for several years. Whatever the most recent James Bond movie rolled over a couple times, and I was like, you know what, you're probably not gonna watch this.
Oh no, 2021.
Okay, yeah. So that one's rolled over a couple times, but I do intend to watch that one. So real quick, just gonna rattle off the movies I wanted to see that I did see. All right, we got Scream, we got the Ghostbusters. Again,
still haven't seen that.
The Batman.
Yes.
Saint Maud, which might have been a rollover. I can't remember. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Hell yeah.
Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
X.
I still need to see that.
Thunder, Love, and some Thunder. Thor, I mean.
Oh. I still haven't gotten to that one either.
Marcel the Shell.
I want to see that.
Nope.
Nope was great. No, for a second I thought you were telling me nope, I don't want to see Marcel the Shell, but no.
It's playful.
Yeah, but good. But no,
it was a year or two ago.
What was that?
I think Dune. That might have been a year or two ago.
Dune was 2021.
Okay, that was a rollover.
Yeah.
Hellraiser, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
I still need to see that.
Pearl, Knives Out, Glass Onion.
Yes.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Oh, I gotta see that still.
Another one I can't remember if it was this
That
year.
was this year. That was definitely this year.
And then last night I watched The Menu.
Yes, which I watched that earlier that day.
Yes. Yeah.
My list for 2022 is much shorter, I believe. So obviously Everything Everywhere All at Once, probably my favorite movie of the year. The Batman, Turning Red, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Chippendale Rescue Rangers, which Where the Crawdads Sing, which
I don't know if I know that one.
Well, we can talk about it later. Glass Onion, which I fucking loved. Bullet Train, Prey, Mad God, and The Menu.
Nice. You want to talk about which one was disappointing?
Sorry, I forgot the two that I watched in the last 24 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Weird, the Ali Yankovic Story, and Clerks 3.
Which are two that I want to watch and just haven't had.
Yes.
Isn't the Weird Al story on like some weird streaming
It's
service?
the Roku channel, which we have a Roku TV at home, so that made that super easy for me.
Whenever I figure out how to stream that, I'll watch it.
You can come over and watch it. It's fine.
Yeah. Clerks 3, it's like, well, when do I want to cry?
Yeah, basically.
Good gosh. Do you want to, which of those were a disappointment to you?
So there were three of them on that list that I consider a disappointment. The lesser disappointment I felt was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I liked it. I had fun with it. It's. I think the best way I've seen it referred to is it is extremely Sam Raimi for better and worse.
Yes.
And I think that's really accurate. I think that he clearly showed like a love of the source material and a desire to make something fun and also like scary. But he also he made a Reed Richards that like just like comic book explained his plan to Wanda and then caused everything to fall apart. Like he's like a dumbass.
Not like Reed.
Sure, but it's also real dumb, and he's not supposed to be dumb. But I mean, among other issues, like there's I don't know, it didn't hit quite the way that I wanted it to, but there was a lot of good in there, I think. And I'm interested to see where those character stories go from there. Even though that post-credit sequence felt really weird.
Yeah, really shoehorned in there.
Yeah, it was extremely shoehorned, and also like, oh, he got used to that fucking third eye real quick, huh? Yeah, so that one I found disappointing a little bit. Chippendale Rescue Rangers, I really was disappointed with, which is a fucking shame because it feels like a movie that is like made for me to like. It
is a non-traditional storytelling.
Yeah.
It has the whole Roger Rabbit.
It's very Roger Rabbit,
live action world.
It does some fun things with unexpected IP. I wasn't expecting Ugly Sonic to pop up.
I wasn't looking forward to this movie. I kind of had my doubts.
I was excited about it when it was announced, but then like I don't know, like the performances felt off. It didn't feel like there was chemistry in the voice performances between Andy Samberg and John Mulaney. Oh, yeah. Which is weird because like I've seen them have chemistry in things before. I think.
For me, and it's kind of like the Mario movie. I didn't want to hear different voices for those characters. Like and by different voices I mean loud, squeaky rodent sounds.
Oh boy.
Because I grew up not even with like the Rescue Rangers, but like with the original Chipmunks running around being a couple of goons. So I understand why they changed the voices. I also understand why they changed the voice for Mario, but I don't like it. I also don't like to think about a sentient fly having relations with a mouse.
Yeah,
That was pretty gross.
I forgot about
Some
that.
weird Cronenberg body horror. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Especially 'cause I've seen some like kind of foxy cosplay with what Gidget, whatever the fuck her name is,
I
the Lady Mouse. I don't know.
I forget.
There's some weird places we're going here that I didn't want to go today.
I can't say that I've looked for sexy mouse cosplay.
I'll save you some later. She's a very competent character, female character in a monkey suit.
Fair.
Anyway. I didn't like the movie. I saw it while I was in like the throes of COVID, and
Oh God. I mean that immediately makes it worse. But no, I was well when I saw it. It didn't click with me. And like I feel bad because like I had put out on Twitter for our audience to chime in with movies that they liked for the year, and the only response that I got back was somebody saying how surprised they were how much they liked Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Like, oh man, I'm sorry, like neither of us liked that.
There are a number of movies we're in the minority on.
Oh yeah, no, I fully recognize like we are the minority opinion on that particular movie, but like I don't know, it just really it felt meh.
This is even if I separate my critique of the film, the way that they did Peter Pan dirty is uncomfortable.
Oh God!
If you know the history of the original voice actor of Peter Pan.
I think you'd mentioned this before. Yeah. What's the story there again?
I'll have to do some like deeper research, but essentially Disney just ruined a child star, and he ended up like penniless and I think a drug addict.
That sucks.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
I should have picked a different actor or character to
do like that.
Yeah,
that hurts. I don't like that.
Yeah. So aside from that, which I again wasn't really looking forward to, I was looking forward to Thor:
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder.
I've heard nothing but disappointment surrounding this movie. I haven't watched it yet, but
well, like Taika Waititi, like the last 4 movies he's done, I've really enjoyed.
Seriously, yeah, I love his work.
And then this was like I don't know what happened. I don't. Like a lot of people are blaming him for the way it turned out, saying that he was just it was just too much Taika Waititi. Which I mean, it's not like he didn't have control over other stuff that he's done.
Sure. I think the biggest critique that I think I've seen is that he leans too hard into jokes at the expense of character.
That is very true.
Okay, yeah, that's disappointing.
Yeah, and it has some cool parts in it, but overall the story's kind of meh.
That's a shame. And especially that being like Natalie Portman's return to the role and everything, like that was a big deal. People were really fucking excited, but yeah, they can't all be winners, I guess.
And it might be a movie that I rewatch later without the anticipation hype.
Sure.
And enjoy more. I don't.
Maybe.
So, but...
I mean, overhype is a real thing.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, like there are movies I was like let me see, like Scream, the Scream movie. I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
But my hype was
super high.
Yeah. And even Glass Onion, I went in with like really high expectations, and I enjoyed it. It's not a 5 out of 5 for me. It's like a 4.5 out of 5, which is still really high.
That's still really high. Yeah. See, like I ranked. If you look at my Letterboxd, I ranked Weird, Al Yankovic story is a 4.5 out of 5, and it's just like, yeah, it was fun. It was a really good movie. I laughed a whole lot. It's just like, yeah, sometimes the cinematography felt kind of static. Whatever. It's like, sometimes good movies aren't, don't land the way you want. I will say that Glass Onion for me was a hard 5 out of 5. Yeah. I fucking love that movie.
I think the lack of a half of a star for me is
I probably contributed to the overhype on that one for you a little bit.
It's a little bit that, but it's also the first one had all the things that I like. Dingy old manor.
Oh, sure.
Old curmudgeon-y author of like it had all the kind of cliches that I enjoyed the most.
Sure.
This year is now. Here we are. In time and space. What movies are you looking for?
Well, hold on. I have one more disappointment from last year I want to cover real quick, and that's Where the Crawdads Sing.
What is? I can't remember that movie.
So it's an adaptation of a book of the same title, where it follows the story of a young woman who lives in like a marshy swampland off on her own, and she's being accused of murdering her ex. And the movie kind of skips back and forth in time from like between like her arrest and the trial to her upbringing and like what happened to lead up through like her relationship with this guy who also lived in the swamp area or like visited the swamp area frequently, who then went off to college, and then her meeting this jackass who ultimately ends up being the guy who dies. And like you're oh god, I can't remember any of the actors off the top of my head. They weren't people I was readily familiar with. Like there wasn't a single moment where I was like, hey, I know that guy. And I'm usually pretty good about actor names and character parallels and stuff like that.
What's it called again?
Where the Crawdads Sing.
I was trying to think of an assy title. What was the title?
Yep. God damn it. But yeah, it's a little paint by numbers. It's a little predictable. It's trying to like keep you guessing as to whether or not she committed the crime.
Sure.
Which in the end you find out that she did, and like the reveal that she did is like kind of satisfactory, but only in the sense that like if it had been any other ending, it would have been garbage.
Sure.
But like the entire courtroom sequence is like so poorly conceived, so there's like no tension through any of that. Like they do a really, really bad job of like trying to make her seem guilty through a lot of that. Like they almost make it they make it too easy to theorize that it's her went off to college first boyfriend that killed the guy, and it's like obviously a misdirect. Like no, she killed this guy, it's fine, whatever. But
okay,
it's just it's paint by numbers and lacking any tension in a lot of key moments where it needed tension.
Is it who made it? Do you know?
No, I don't know the director or the writer offhand.
Was it a Netflix original? Something
I don't think it was a Netflix. I think this was a theatrical release. Let me look it up real quick here. Where are the Crawdads?
I almost had us move on before we talked about the movies we like the most this year, which is a silly thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, we also want to do that.
I'm working with like 18% brain cell.
That's fair. I mean, there's a reason this is a relaxed fit. Okay, so director was Olivia Newman. Writers, screenplay by Lucy Alibar, and based upon the novel by Delia Owens.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not familiar with any of those names.
No,
so,
I didn't recognize any of the actors.
No. Yeah, it's like it's got some moments, but it's also like it if it weren't for the very end of the movie, it would have felt like a complete waste of time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Before we go into the movies that we like the most, there's a TikTok movie person called J Stubbs.
J Stubbs. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, she's cool. You'd like her. She does a lot of like general reviews, but also critiques and cultural analysis of films.
Nice. Yeah, I would dig that.
And men hate her, which is great.
I would love her then. That's great.
And she's a big old Daredevil nerd. She's got like an original piece of art behind her.
This is a TikTok account made for you.
Yeah. And like all the other similar movie reviewers have all found each other because that's all TikTok do.
Oh, of course.
And now they're all real friends.
It's amazing.
It's adorable.
That's very cute.
But she points out that this year will likely be remembered as an incredible year for movies.
What, 2022?
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's a very good year for movies.
She points out that Babylon, which is a movie I want to see.
That came out late last year. So yeah, I want to see that as well.
But it didn't do well critically.
No, I have noticed that.
She's like, the only reason this movie is bombing is because the movie this year was so good for movies. I'm like, you know what? That's probably true.
And it's a Wild Wild West situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
A reverse Wild Wild West.
A reverse Wild Wild West.
But it's kind of hard to narrow it down to, even if I was just to say like 5 movies that I really like. You have The Batman, which did exceed my expectations.
It genuinely did, yeah.
X was another one.
I still need to see X. I gotta get on that.
It's Ty West kind of 70s horror homage film.
Sure, and he
Mia
hammered
Goth.
out that prequel real fast.
Yes, Pearl.
Yeah.
Which I did enjoy. I didn't enjoy it as much as X.
Okay.
I've seen most people kind of lean that way, but I've also seen people say they enjoyed Pearl more.
I have seen that take. Yeah.
It's just a different kind of horror film.
Sure.
But it's still Mia Goth being incredible.
I'm not really familiar with her work offhand, but like she's popping up in more and more stuff.
Yeah.
Like she's in that Son of Cronenberg movie that's coming out with Alexander
Yes.
Skarsgård.
Yes.
Is it Brian Cronenberg?
It's a white man name.
I forget. I forget. Yeah, it's like why is it the sons of directors are frequently named Brian? I'm thinking Brian Henson is also another one, but I don't know. Neither here or there. If his name's actually Brian.
See that because
looks interesting.
I really enjoyed Possessor.
Oh, that was him. Yeah. I haven't seen that, but I've heard nothing but good things about it.
It's hard to watch.
Oh, it's a Cronenberg, so yeah. Body horror is the family business.
Yeah. I still need to see his first film, which it has. I think the pale gentleman from the Star Wars prequels, the pale Imperial. That is a difficult thing to say.
The Pale Imperial from the Star Wars prequels.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a tongue twister, huh?
He's a red-haired fellow. But... it is entirely unimportant, except for probably to that gentleman that
I'm drawing a complete blank on this person. I feel terrible.
We'll add it in post.
I'm not going to add it in post.
I know you're not adding a post. I just want to leave a long pause there with that air. Is that him? Did I find the right fellow? I think I was entirely wrong. It's Brandon Cronenberg.
Brandon Cronenberg. Okay.
You're close.
Okay. Yeah. My mistake, Brandon.
The pale gentleman is Caleb Landry Jones, which is he's not in Star Wars.
Dude, what the fuck, Jack?
I thought here's the poster. Look at his face. Do you know what I'm thinking of? Based on
I think you're thinking from Star Wars sequels. You're thinking Domhnall Gleeson, who played Hux.
Yes, it's not him at all.
Who I know about because of the movie Frank, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that one where Michael Fassbender plays a musician who like won't take off his mask the entire time, and when he finally does, he has like a gross thing ring around his head. Domhnall Gleeson is like the person who tries to be his friend and make music with him.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's entirely wrong. So yes, the Cronenbergs. How do we end up here?
Mia Goth.
Oh, Mia Goth.
Yes.
She's slowly, well, maybe not even slowly. She's done a number of horror films or horror adjacent films.
Sure.
I know her mostly for being like a model.
Sure.
But I think she's finally found her niche.
Okay. But
she was really good as Pearl in Pearl.
Yeah.
And also Pearl in
X. Yeah.
But also what's her name? Maxine. She's also.
Oh yeah, she plays two characters in that. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to the end of that trilogy, Maxine.
Yes.
Spelled with X.
3 X's. Yeah. I remember.
I very much enjoyed Dune, but that didn't come out last year.
Dune's fucking fantastic, and I'm very looking forward to part 2 this year. So that's.
Is that this year?
It's supposed to be. Yeah, nice. November of this year, I think.
Hey, let's talk about the menu.
Let's talk about the menu. Oh my god. Man. Yeah.
I'm so good to watch that.
Oh my god. Yeah, that had been lingering in my periphery for so long because I like Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see Ralph Fiennes acting with a nose again.
Yes. Yeah. He does good work with that nose.
Yeah, the nose plays. It's just.
And Nick Holt.
Who I'm looking forward to seeing as Renfield.
Yeah.
He was such a piece of shit in this movie. Holy shit!
A hilarious piece of shit.
I identified with him for half a second because when they're on the boat going to the island and they eat whatever the fuck those lemon drop things were on the oyster shell.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked kind of gross, but he eats it and he's laughing that it's so good. It's I do that. That is a thing that I'm a very expressive eater whenever I really like something. So in that moment, I was oh, okay, I can kind of I immediately related to Anya Taylor-Joy's character because she's clearly the out of place working class person.
Right.
They could smell the poor on her, I'm sure.
Just her wardrobe. I was like,
oh yeah, the leather jacket and everything, and but like in that moment, I was like, okay, maybe he's not so bad. Then I was very wrong. He was a giant piece of shit the whole time.
The way he plays a giant piece of shit
oh my
is
god,
so interesting.
He leans in so hard, and like in the moments where like everyone's losing their shit about how weird everything is, he's just like, this is delicious. Like you really need to try this. Like you just got into an argument about the fact that like she's trying to send the food back. You called her a child.
Yeah. Well, it's his positivity that's fascinating. Like he's so positive and happy about the food experience.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else in the room is freaking the fuck out.
Yeah. I guess we've already spoiled something for one movie, so I guess should we just put out a blanket spoiler warning at this point for anything that we're going to be talking about?
I would say up to a point for this one.
Up to a point. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, it only hit streaming like a week or two ago. Yeah. So, at least as of this recording.
So bad stuff happens. If you, I mean, you kind of get that vibe from the trailer that things are off the rails.
Yeah, like I think the very few previews I had seen for it is like you knew something was going to go wrong. I couldn't put my finger. I don't think I had like really digested the trailers or had been long enough that I watched them that I didn't have them fresh in my mind, because like as stuff's starting to become more and more unnerving, I'm like something's gonna break bad here anytime, and it's like I can't.
They let it build.
They really let it build. Like it's like at first it's just like the weirdness of the meals themselves, but then whenever the server leans down to the one tech bro, it's just like you'll eat less than you desire and more than you deserve. I'm like, what the fuck?
She was so good. I don't know what else she's doing.
She was great. Holy hell! Just like the overall like hospitality vibe that she's putting on the entire time, and the menace that she puts forth. Like
she's so unnerving.
Whenever she confronts the guy who's trying to leave, and he's like, honey, I'll handle this, and she says, which hand will you handle this with, left or right? Do we need to choose for you?
In any other horror movie, you would have just Ralph Fiennes as like the villain, the big bad, but because you have her as this intimidating force, it allows him to be this more introspective menace.
Well, it's not even just her. I mean, it's largely her, but it's the entire like kitchen staff. Like it's almost cult-like.
Yes, and they foreshadow that vibe pretty early in the film. So
when they're like showing like the crew quarters, how they all live there and everything, it's
compound.
Like it's like this is all very sparse and utilitarian and a little creepy. Oh, there's a cabin over there that no one's allowed to go into?
Yeah. This is one of the better films I've watched in a while.
Yes.
In general. Yeah. Also for building tension. Absolutely.
Oh my god, it does such a good job of it. I felt a little bit bad because Becca was upstairs like having a work meeting, and I'm watching this movie shouting, "What the fuck?" at various points.
Well, they take their sweet fucking time building tension,
but it never feels like it's dragging. No. Like it's paced so meticulously.
There's a couple points right before it did break where I'm like, just break, please. Just break. Like, God, there's a song I was listening to that Pirate Scott recommended.
Okay.
And God, I'll have to look it up. But the song builds tension. Like it's a very tense song. But it never breaks. And I'm like,
no, I need it to break.
So then
drop that dirty beat, please.
Yeah. Luckily, like because of it being like a bunch of random songs I liked, there's like a super gay disco song right after it.
Sure.
That saves me. God, it's called Teeth Agape by, and I'm gonna fuck up her name.
It's a great name.
Yeah, it's Tanya Tagake.
No idea.
I think she's indigenous.
Okay.
But the entire like 3 minutes is just like tension. I'm like, please break. And it never does. And then it followed up with Crucified by Army of Lovers, which is a very, very flamboyant religious disco song.
Sure.
It's a lot, and I love it.
Fascinating.
It looks like a bunch of Dracula saying it. But this movie I thought was going to be that, where it builds tension and like keeps building. I'm like, please break.
And how?
And it does.
It does. It very much does.
And I love that they build this character that almost feels like he's just like a featured extra.
Yeah.
And then he becomes really important. Which I won't say how. But,
sure.
He keeps appearing in the background. He has like a small interaction with Nick Holt's character early on. Because Nick Holt goes up to like watch him prepare the food.
Oh yeah. I got you. Because he has where he asks about the thing that he uses to make like the milk snow, and he's like, no, I have one of those actually. He's like, oh, you fucking like, you rich ass food nerd.
Okay, so this might be a little more spoily than I want, but I have a question because I've seen people online like, I don't understand it. Like the movie's very understandable.
It's very understandable. It's pretty clear.
Have you ever been poor? Oh, you haven't? Then maybe you don't.
Oh, that's probably why.
But if you've ever been like, God, I have nothing to eat but this can of mayonnaise. Why do you have a can of mayonnaise?
Where'd you get canned mayonnaise from? No. Oh, I don't trust that as far as I can throw it.
A can of mayonnaise and a couple of dry noodles.
Oh,
then you're probably not gonna understand this movie. But oh, God. But the choice, everyone that's in this little restaurant, is either is very specifically picked or not, which is Anna Taylor.
Yeah, she's kind of the outlier.
Yeah, which is how you get detention.
Yeah.
Except for, sorry, I just remembered the one reason they John Leguizamo's character is fucking hilarious.
Oh my God! Like, on the one hand, I was like, "That's really shitty," but also
hilarious. So this is, I guess, technically would be like a horror thriller, but it's hilarious.
It's also hilarious. It is very much a dark comedy. Yeah. Like it is. Oh God!
Why? This is me asking because I don't know and I want to know.
Sure.
Why do you think Nick Holt is there? Because he explains it. It just went over my head.
So it's the idea that he says to him, "You ruin the mystery of our art."
Yes.
So he's the kind of person who intellectualizes the practice of high cuisine, but does not deign to practice it. Like he sees himself as above the actual work of crafting that food and that art. So hence when you get the plate of Tyler's bullshit.
That was funny.
I died. I was laughing so hard.
So they do this thing where anytime a meal is presented, you see the text on the screen.
Yeah, like they do it like a food show presentation almost, where you see like the name of the dish and then like a breakdown of the ingredients included, and it is like undercooked pork chop, way too much butter, a lack of any cohesion. Just reads this man for filth, eviscerates him publicly. Oh,
I hope that people catch on to this movie because there's so much to read about.
Oh my God, it is such a deep. It is so steeped in class consciousness, and
there's also a dish. I forget what dish it is or what course it is. It's the men's folly or something. Like
men's folly. Oh God, yeah, that's a good one.
Where the women.
That was like course 5 or 6, I think. I forget, but.
And I won't spoil it, but it gives the femme characters a chance to all talk amongst themselves.
Yes.
While the men are fucked off doing some bullshit.
We'll point out that scene fails the Bechdel test, but it's narratively built in. Like it was just gonna happen.
Yeah. Just the way that they try to comfort each other, but also can't.
And they reach the point where it's like, fuck it, more wine.
Right.
Oh my God.
So watch The Menu.
Watch The Menu,
It's
please.
on HBO Max right now.
Yeah, that immediately jumped into my top 5 for the year, I think.
Yeah, well, not only that, but there's a bunch of other movies that just came out on HBO Max, like the Banshees of
Inisherin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? 14. I forgot to put that on my list. I did watch the Banshees of Inisherin.
How is it? Because I've not had a chance.
Sad. It's very sad.
That's what I thought.
But it's really good.
Okay.
Like it's a very haunting Irish kind of sad.
Right. Why am I forgetting his name? Patrick the director. He also did In Bruges.
Is it Michael McDonough, isn't it?
That's right. I was aware of his existence before he got into film because he was a prolific playwright.
Oh, actually, I didn't know that.
Yeah. We did one of his plays at IUP.
Nice.
I forget what it was called, but it was a very sad Irish play.
The kind of thing that you could imagine Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson being in.
It was very like female driven, but
okay.
Yes, they would be actors that would fit in that universe.
It was. I don't want to spoil anything that happens, but like if you've watched the trailers, you know that it's about two friends who are having a falling out because one of them has decided he doesn't like the other and tells him, look, if you don't leave me alone, I am going to start cutting off my own fingers and leaving them at your door. And then
Martin McDonagh is not afraid to do things like
to go. I need to look up his director's name because you said Martin that time, and I'm not.
Damn it.
And I want to make sure we're crediting this properly.
But he did In Bruges. He did 3 Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri.
Martin McDonagh, you were right. So I said Michael, and I was wrong. So
he also did. Is it 7 Psychopaths? I forgot the number.
In Bruges.
Yeah, In Bruges, 7 Psychopaths, 3 Billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Yes.
And now
I've not seen 3 Billboards. I know that won Best Picture, but I hear a lot of people talking about it today with a lot of ire. Like a lot of people hate that movie, and I'm not sure why. I haven't seen it.
Talking about it with ire at the time, so I'm surprised that it did well.
I mean, it got Frances McDormand an Oscar.
That's right. Well, she's incredible.
She's amazing.
And I do like the movie, but it has some harsh subject matter that it's.
I know it's about sexual assault in particular, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that it has a very honest portrayal of some characters that people were like, well, that character should have had their comeuppance or whatever. And I think they don't like the way it ends, which I'm like, it didn't end with a big revenge arc.
Well, not everything does,
right?
But yeah, I'll have to check it out. I still haven't seen it for myself, and it's also like over 5 years old at this point, I think.
Well, I think the reason people didn't like it is it very much feels like a play he would write.
So does I imagine so does Banshees of Inisherin.
That would be my guess.
Which I would highly recommend watching Banshees. It's very good, and it is. I mean, like it's gotten some award buzz as a comedy, which. There's definitely some comedy to it, but it's fucking dark. It is very sad.
Yes, that's kind of his thing. Like In Bruges and 7 Psychopaths both feel like movies that are written by a playwright.
Yeah.
Ebbing, Missouri feels like a play that was turned into a movie.
Which
it's not.
It's not?
No. I don't think so.
Interesting. Okay. Maybe it was a book at some point. It was maybe an adaptation of a book. I swear I remember that title from something else. But
I could be wrong. I think it was an original.
Okay.
I want them to turn his movie or his play Pillowman into.
I think I've heard you mention this before. I'm not sure though.
I want to say they staged it in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I want to say that Jeff Goldblum was in it.
Neat.
It's like his version of a serial killer movie.
Okay.
The play.
Very cool.
Banshees. I definitely want to see this one.
Yeah, Banshees of Inisherin is definitely worth watching. Everybody puts on a really good performance in that. Barry Keoghan, in particular, I think kind of steals his scenes. Yeah. He's so fun. He is a lot of fun to watch. He is probably the center of a lot of the comedy, honestly. Though he's also a center of a lot of the heartbreak too. So. Yeah, definitely worth checking out. I will spoil one thing. Okay. For those of you that frequent doesthedogdie.com, there's a very good dog in this movie. It survives. Okay. It's fine. Okay. In fact, there's literally a point where Colin Farrell says, "Why would I hurt your dog?" Dog never did nothing to me. Just,
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forget what movie I like sat down to watch and was really excited to watch it.
Mhm.
And then somebody was like, if you like cats, maybe don't.
Oh man, I remember hearing that about something recently, but I can't remember what it was.
I think it was a horror film, so I was like, you know what? Nah.
Yeah. Speaking of animals in movies that turn out fine, did you see Prey? I forget.
I did not. Not
So
yet.
Prey was one of the movies I saw for this year that I really enjoyed. I wouldn't say it's top 5 for me, but like this was probably the most fun I've had with a Predator movie in a very very long time. And the lead character has a dog companion that follows her around, and the dog turns out fine. Dog survives a Predator encounter.
I feel like as that should be a part of all of our content warnings for movies now.
Does the dog die?
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
But like also saying, no, it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. Yeah.
No dogs were hurt.
No dogs were harmed in the making of this film, fictionally or in real life. That bear didn't fucking make it though. Holy shit.
I'm not super attached to bears.
That's fine. Yeah.
Let's take a break.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll talk about upcoming movies.
I think we still have some movies that we like from this year that we can talk about as well.
We did, but we're 45 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can touch on it a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right, fuck off. But come back. Well, fuck off.
While we're breaking here, I want to point out real quick we have one comment in the stream chat.
Uh-huh.
Hi, I want to offer promotion of your channel, viewers, followers, views, chatbots. That's a sentence. The price is lower than any competitor. The quality is guaranteed to be the best. Auto on. Incredibly flexible and convenient order management panel. Everything is in your hands. Turn it on, off, /customize. Go to dogehype.com.
Man, you didn't even try to hide it.
No. No.
Sir, robot, come on.
Sorry, man. Cuboid _5Y1. No, we will not be.
We are
going to dogehype.com.
Entering the age of powerful AIs, and you have failed.
I'm so fucking burnt out on the AI shit.
I am too, but I've also used it.
Yeah, I know you've done some cool things with the ChatGPT stuff.
Yeah.
Like the clown conversation that you had was particularly riveting because it actually debated you.
Yeah,
like
I had a debate with an AI over whether clowns should be used in stories or not.
Whether they're offensive.
Whether they're offensive or not.
I know they're perverts, but they're fine.
Right. we had like an actual debate.
Yeah, it was weird.
Conclusion. Like, we both understand that some people do not enjoy clowns.
Yeah, you convinced an AI to
So when the clownpocalypse occurs, I am sorry.
When they start emerging from the woods again en masse, it's Jack is to blame.
And when our AI protectors let it slide, I'm sorry.
I was reading on Twitter earlier today. Somebody was using ChatGPT, whatever the fuck the acronym.
ChatGPT,
yeah, using ChatGPT in online therapy with people without their knowledge.
Oh,
they were using they had like a person monitoring what the chat would say, and then tweak it a little bit to try to make sure what they're saying is applicable to the person or whatever.
Yeah.
And they did this with 4,000 people or something, and
so this was a person acting as a therapist, but using the AI for.
Well, I think they were working with an actual therapist, potentially. I don't know that part of it.
Sure.
I mean, they had to have been working with people who were in mental health treatment, and they didn't get anybody's informed consent about this.
Yeah.
It just, and it's not like there was no IRB. There was no they're not. That's the review board that makes sure your experiment is ethical and viable and permitted to go forward. But yeah, they just kind of did this thing, and they're well, we're not trying to publish it or do anything or do this or that with it. We just wanted to see.
Yeah,
it's just no, but you're fucking with people's mental health with an AI. That's really cold and
even
unethical.
The AI was just bananas good at it. Still.
Still.
I feel So I'm mostly using it for editing and punctuation because
Sure.
I went to a public school, and my punctuation isn't always great.
Sure.
But I have toyed with it as far as what its narrative building abilities are, and yeah, it's fine.
It's not gonna supplant actual authors
No.
by any stretch of the imagination.
However, I have found that it is really good at style. So I'll type
That's
in, like,
interesting.
yeah, I'll type out a paragraph and I'll say rewrite this in the style of like Gothic or noir or whatever, and it's not bad. Ethically, I've not used those.
Sure.
Because I don't want to say I wrote this me, I am author without help.
Beep boop.
Beep boop. Whereas I don't have that problem with punctuation because I feel like it would be more or less the same as Grammarly.
I mean, that's similar to Grammarly or any kind of spell check kind of thing. Like that's understandable.
Or I'll use it as like a thesaurus.
Sure.
But I think that in the near future, if you are using an AI for something, it needs to contain a disclaimer in the same way that it would say, like, this is a sponsored ad, or like this product was assisted with AI, blah blah blah.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I think it needs to be clear so you can differentiate and you understand where credit's due and whatnot.
Because I saw some artist was kicked off either TikTok or Instagram or some art whatever because their art looked very similar to an AI product, but it had not used any AI.
That's that's murky.
Yeah,
that's really fucked up. I think like the visual art side of it is where it's way more thorny than it is with because like the chatbot thing, like text is I think more malleable and like there's more applicability there without like directly stealing other people's work because like so many of those art AIs were just like trained on a bunch of people's actual posted art without their consent, and it's like just directly aping their style and in some cases directly stealing pieces and warping them so that they're like less legible if there's like text involved in any of them.
So the Chat GPT, just text. It was trained on text up through 2001.
Okay.
So like I asked it, like, what's the weather of this? And it's like, I don't know because I wasn't trained on anything beyond this date. I think September 2021. Like it can't tell you the weather for tomorrow.
I mean, good. That'd be weird.
Yeah. Well, I asked. I was like, "Hey, is it going to snow tomorrow?" It's like,
you know better than I do, bud.
And I'm fine with that. That it was trained on text from this time period.
Sure.
I don't like that the art AIs were trained off of other people's art. If it was going to, I don't know. Because you're getting into copyright. If I were a lawyer who also worked with AI, I would say only train this AI on art that's in the public domain or pre-copyright.
Yeah.
At least initially until
you have people who are willing to consent to having their work trained or used for training on this.
And you do have current modern artists that they're like, I will not copyright myself. I don't want copyright.
Oh yeah, no, there are a bunch of people who are opposed to copywriting their stuff and want it to be as openly available and used for whatever purpose. Like
tons.
Yeah, there's a lot of open source
different kinds of art.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's also a lot of people who are like, hey, I worked really fucking hard on this and I want this to be mine. Like, please don't.
Right.
Or ask at least. Like
so for now, I am kind of land on pro AI, with that exception. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it. I think it's Adobe has been using AI to clean up audio. Somebody did this thing where they took like an old song from like the aughts.
Okay.
And cleaned it with this AI. And it sounded as though like we'd recorded it today.
Interesting.
It was no crackle, super crisp, fresh. And you kind of lose that style if that's the style you're going for. But if you wanted an audio clip, let's say it was an audio, like an interview, and you wanted to clean it up so you could use it for, educational purposes, the AI is getting there.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that brings me to the end of my TikTok, TED Talk, in which I say we need a mandated minimum income.
Yes.
Because eventually we will, maybe not in our lifetimes, if the planet makes it that long.
No, they.
We will reach a point where AI and technology is utilized for a lot of menial labor type jobs, and that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
If I were 14 again, I would not want the job where I'm cleaning up bullshit that somebody dropped on the floor. I don't want to do that now.
Yeah.
But if I had that time back to myself, I would experience life and make art. But we need as a people, I don't know how we ended up here. We need as a people to have income to feed ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that should be, honestly, like as we get closer and closer to automating a lot of different jobs and processes, like that's just going to increase productivity further. We should be able to then to redistribute some of those resources so that people are able to just live their lives. Like otherwise, what the fuck are we doing?
When I worked at UPMC Shadyside, there was a robot. I think that it was an acronym that spelled out TUG, because of course that's how we are.
Yeah.
And it had taken the job of a person who used to do that.
Yeah.
Job. It basically took dirty linen, whatever, transported it from one of the floors down to where it would be washed.
Yeah.
And that took like 4 people's jobs away.
4 people's? Holy shit.
It was a big hospital.
Yeah.
So that is not gonna not happen.
Yeah.
So
money please.
Money please.
Whee.
Well, I look forward to hearing this in deleted scenes.
It'll be there. It'll be there. We need more for deleted scenes 3. So
you're welcome. It was a good talk.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with anything we normally talk about.
I know.
All right, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick, and then we can dive into movies of the upcoming year.
Sounds like a plan.
How do you spell Joaquin? There it is. Never mind.
Joaquin.
I'm going to look up what.
Wakeen.
Walking?
Joaquin.
No, that was right. Okay. There's a upcoming movie by Ari Aster, and it was called
Beau is Afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The name changed, and I want to make sure I got the right one.
Mm-hmm. I saw the poster it was released for just the other day, which is neat and unsettling.
Yes, both of those things. Why don't you take us back in here?
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Before we jump into what we're looking forward to for this year, there were a couple of thoughts I just wanted to get out of my head real quick regarding movies from 2022. Obviously, I think I mentioned Everything Everywhere All at Once was hands down my favorite movie of the year. Would you also say that for yours, or?
Of the movies I've watched, yes.
Yes. Okay. There's a ton of award buzz around it right now, and I'm really fucking happy about it.
Yeah.
I want every supporting actor Oscar or award to go to Ke Huy Quan so badly.
It's like I really, really like that, but I also it's like the Batman, Nope, Everywhere.
Nope was so fucking good.
Like Nope was so fucking good.
I was so happy with Nope. Like it is like Jordan Peele just continues to knock it out of the fucking park.
Like I want most of the awards to go to Everywhere.
Yeah, but I want a lot of recognition to go to Nope as well. Yeah, I mean the Batman was fucking great as well. I can't wait to see what they do with that moving forward.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll hear some more about that soon when James Gunn reveals like the DC slate or whatever.
I heard that the Penguin starts shooting in.
Oh right, yeah, there was a spin-off series for Penguin. I almost forgot about that. I also wanted to touch real quick on Bullet Train and Mad God, because Bullet Train's so goddamn fun. Like I did not know what to expect going into that, and it's almost like this weird mix of like Smoking Aces and Knives Out and like a couple of different things going on. It's like there's almost too much happening, but like it all balances out in the end in this really fun way. And it also makes you forget that Brad Pitt's 60.
Yeah, I mean he's aged.
He's aged.
Also is doing, like I would not have guessed 60 based on
based on the fight with Bad Bunny alone. Like holy shit. Also, now having seen that, I kind of understand why people want to see Bad Bunny or a star in like a Spider-Man villain spin-off film, because he's doing that El Muerto film. We talked about that briefly at one point. Maybe it was a deleted scenes thing, I forget. But you know, it actually makes me interested to see what he can do, because he was a really cool on-screen presence. as was the rest of the cast. Even if Michael Shannon as a like Russian Yakuza lord was kind of weird.
That was a little hard to swallow.
Yeah, that was a choice, but also like I didn't hate it.
It was almost so ridiculous. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it fits with the ridiculousness of everything else that is happening. But I think that Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry kind of steal the show.
Yeah,
that might have been my favorite Aaron Taylor Johnson performance to date. I loved him in this.
Yes, he was very good. I liked the more or less singular location.
Yes. I like the time jumping as well, like the way they were able to kind of fill in some blanks here and there. Also, they do a really good job of like making you forget for a while that Brad Pitt's not actually supposed to be there.
Yeah. Fuck.
And then Mad God, I also saw last year, just like such a fascinating, like enthralling descent into madness and hell. Like,
yeah, I agree with what the majority of people have said, where they're like, it was gorgeous.
Yes.
It was a feat of cinematic magic. There's like a leaf blower going on that side.
Oh, okay, I was wondering what the fuck that was.
That's just the way my heart works now. Fantastic. Never want to see it again.
Yeah, that is the one problem with it. Is like I don't know if I could stomach watching it again. It's enthralling. I think everyone should check it out, especially since it's like literally a 30-year running passion project of one dude, fucking genius Phil Tippett.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I would watch it a second time though.
I would watch clips of it where people are talking about it in like a film class.
Sure. Yeah.
But
I might watch somebody else watch it.
Huh. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I would watch it if what's that called? You ever hear about how you can like sync the Dark Side of the Moon along with the Wizard of Oz?
I was gonna say Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. Yes.
If you could sync the lyrics to Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
The lyrics to Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
It's musical. You see.
That makes the whole scene with the like ostrich fight or whatever make a lot more sense.
But if they could get like Philip Glass to,
oh my god, could you imagine?
You remember in Glass Onion when they referenced Philip Glass, nobody knew what they were talking about. What did he like? What composed the gong sound or something like that?
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, which that gong sound, by the way, I don't is Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah,
the hourly dong is him.
It's just a stupid movie.
It's so stupid, but that's part of why I love it so goddamn much. Because
really intelligently stupid.
Yes, yeah, it's smart dumb, which is one of my favorite things in the world.
Smart dumb.
I love smart dumb, and this gave me that in the most satisfying way. Also, Janelle Monáe just like steals the fucking show. She's so good. There are two things I wanted to point out that I did not get to watch this year that I'm dying to still watch. One of them is Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Yes, yeah.
I was still very high on my list. I didn't get really like. I feel like animation was a little bit lacking for me this year, even though like I got to watch Turning Red, which was good, especially if you like have early 2000s nostalgia that you want to live vicariously through a Chinese Canadian teenager for.
There was a ton of animation though.
There was some.
Wendell and Wild.
Wendell and Wild was this year too. Oh, I watched that too. Actually, now that I think about it.
I watched a video of the making of one of the vomit scenes.
Oh my god, that had to be a trip.
Which they did practically.
Of course they did. Of course
amazing.
Henry Selick's going to do a puke scene practically. Come on. Though that movie I feel like had its issues, but like it was just a delight to see Key and Peele together again.
Yes, I wanted to spend more time in that world.
Yes, absolutely.
But I also understand that every second of film
was a lot.
Was a lot.
It was a lot. Oh boy. They leaned into the gross out factor with a lot of that stuff too, with like all the puke and the mucus and the snot. Ugh. Oh, what a ride.
The other animation.
Disney had another one, Strange Worlds, which I've not.
That
one got like no promotion.
Yeah.
Outside of like traditional media outlets, so like a lot of people just didn't fucking see the promotions for it, and it was kind of critically panned. Though it's seeing a resurgence now that it's on Disney Plus, though. So it's like, it's almost like a Atlantis or Treasure Planet kind of thing, where like it's seeing a cult following emerge.
I could see that.
Yeah, so I'm curious to watch that. The other big one that I haven't seen yet, mostly because I haven't had 3 hours to sit around and do a thing, is RRR.
Oh fuck yeah!
I want to watch that so badly.
What, Indian?
It's like, yeah, it's an Indian like action musical
with big beefy boys.
Big beefy boys who dance with their suspenders. It looks like so much fun, and I want to watch it so bad.
It's like Bollywood cheesy action musical. It's
yes.
I also want to see it. It's on what, Netflix?
It's on Netflix. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, it's like in Hindi with subtitles.
Right.
And I want it so badly. I want to watch it so badly, but it's 3 hours and 7 minutes long, and like. Given like I did dedicate 3 hours to watch the Batman, so like I should be able to find time for this, but it's just
twice. So
yeah, so like, I should be able to find time for this. I haven't yet.
I think I need to make like a day of it.
Yeah.
I mean that's the same thing with like The Irishman. Like I like.
Oh God, yeah.
I like those actors. I like that topic. I know the history of it.
Yeah.
Why have I not watched it? Oh, it's three.
It's 3 fucking hours.
Yeah.
Three. Yeah, that one was 3.5. Yeah. Jesus.
And like, unlike some of the Marvel movies where it's very easily digested, The Irishman, it's like, okay, well, this historical event connects to this historical event.
Yeah, there's a lot of density in that 3.5 hours. It's like whereas something like Wolf of Wall Street is like a slog to get through because it's just so intense and in your face for such a long time. The Irishman is like the opposite end of the spectrum, where it's just like so much information and background just jam-packed into that time frame.
Pretty sure I told the story about the time I tried to watch it with Belinda and it turned into like an 8-hour history lesson.
Yeah, I vaguely remember this actually. Oh boy.
So you want to talk about the
year ahead?
The unions. I was talking about the unions, but what head?
Wait, the what?
Huh?
What? I said the year ahead.
Oh, the year ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, what did you say?
I was talking about how you need to know about Union history in order to understand the Irishman.
Oh, that helps. Yeah. No. Yeah. Study up on your labor history because that will come in handy. But 2023 is the year we're in now. So,
despite my brain disagreeing with you, it is.
Mm-hmm.
So the way
I've argued with the calendar a few times, but it doesn't respond.
The calendar doesn't give a shit. I don't either.
That's fair.
The IRS does care
though. Fuck them. I mean, I'm going to pay my taxes. Obviously, I'm not a congressman. Jesus.
So the way my lists normally start is I'll list everything I could possibly maybe kind of want, and then as reviews come out or I get to see more about it, I trim it down.
Sure, hit me with it.
Right now, it's pretty long, and I won't go through the ones that I've carried over. Like Last Night in Soho, I really need to watch because
I mean that's a couple years old now. But I also very much want to watch that one.
Or like Pinocchio, Crimes of the Future.
Oh yeah, we didn't get around to Crimes of the Future. We were supposed to go see that in theaters, and we never got around to it.
And I don't think it's streaming on anything yet. I think it was on HBO Max.
It was for like a minute, and now I think it's down.
Yeah. We have. I don't know that we have differing opinions of The Whale. I think I
think you're willing to watch it and I'm not.
Correct. Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. I don't. It's not that you don't see what's wrong with it. It's just that you're still willing to watch it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the difference.
Like I've watched a couple of clips of it, and Brendan Fraser is phenomenal, but it is not an easy thing to watch.
I have seen like momentary blips of his performance in like other things, like in like media roundups of stuff, or popping up in my Twitter feed, and it's like, yeah, it looks like he's doing an amazing job, but I just can't. It hurts. It hurts because like I want to watch Brendan Fraser give an Oscar-worthy performance because I know he can, and I know he's great, but like I don't want it to be this. It's like somebody wished on a fucking monkey's paw.
God, what did I see? I saw like a clip of him in an interview somewhere. And he's like, it's been a while since I've been this famous and unemployed.
Yeah.
You poor.
Oh, yeah, because somebody was asking him if he would do a Mummy reboot or a Mummy or another Mummy sequel, and he was like, "Well, I've never been this famous and unemployed, so yes, sign me up."
But seriously, what's he coming? Has he seen the new Scorsese film coming up?
Yeah, he is, I believe. Okay. Yes,
that's on my list. Killers of the Flower Moon.
Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah,
which I think is a novel.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yes. DiCaprio's also in that, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I believe he's starring.
That feels right.
I also want to see Babylon, which we talked about a little bit.
I mean, that's still in theaters, I believe. So yeah, that's still fresh.
The Flash.
I'm so torn. It's like part of me does really want to see it, and part of me is just like, do I want to? Like, they're talking about like potentially keeping him on as keeping them on as the Flash now, and just like,
Ezra Miller.
They're thinking about keeping Ezra Miller on as the Flash, depending on, because they are apparently like sticking to their mental health program and like not getting into trouble, and it's
which is good.
which is good, but at the same time, it's like I don't know if it's healthy for them to like continue to be in this spotlight.
Yeah.
And also part of me is just like, let every remnant of the Snyderverse die. Just
it's 500% because I want to see Michael Keaton's Batman. That's it.
Fair.
That is, if somebody gave me a copy of the movie that was just his scenes, I would probably just watch that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
And
maybe I'll just wait for streaming. They do know that. They know they have us by the Keaton.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
I do want to put out real quick, actually, Crimes of the Future is on Hulu.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it on Hulu or is it on Hulu Stars?
The fuck is Hulu Stars?
It's the thing that pisses me off where they're like, oh, it's Hulu, but you have to pay a little extra to stream off.
No, it's actually if you have a Hulu subscription, at least according to Just Watch, it's just if you have a Hulu subscription, you can stream it. So there's that.
You're gonna get real weird later.
Hell yeah. Sorry, as you were saying.
Ant-Man and Wasp, Quantumania.
I'm excited, if anything, just to see more Jonathan Majors as Kang. I really want it to be better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. That was like the one movie of that phase of Marvel that was like, this entire thing except for the post-credit sequence is just useless. Like I didn't think that story mattered in terms of like the wider MCU. I
think of the 20-something Marvel movies that are out, that's the only one I've fallen asleep to.
Fair. I get that.
So I'm hoping Jonathan Majors is that?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that his presence will beef everything up. But I do like that we're leaving the quote unquote like real world for another world.
Yeah,
that sounds cool.
I do enjoy that. Yes.
And I want to say the actress that is playing Paul Rudd's daughter.
Right. Yeah, they changed. She's playing Cassie Lang, I think.
I feel like I've seen her in a movie that I liked. I think it was like a Freaky Friday, but with Vince Vaughn, and it was a serial killer.
All right,
it was a Freaky Friday, but Vince Vaughn was a serial killer, and he actually swiftly swaps bodies with
a little girl,
a high schooler, and it's hilarious. It's not a great movie, but
holy shit,
you can tell Vince Vaughn is having a blast being a high school girl.
Yeah.
So,
all right, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I could take or leave him as a human being, but him playing a high school.
I don't really have much of a problem with him, but like
he's pretty hard conservative.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that. I guess it's not surprising though. Anyway,
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
I'm very excited for that.
I'm excited. I'm not super excited, but
I would say I'm super excited. If anything, is I'm curious how they're going to wrap this up because because James Gunn's confirmed this is going to be the last of his Guardians movies. He's not going to be doing any more work in the MCU after this. I mean, he's obviously got his hands full with DC at this point.
Yes.
Dave Bautista has specifically said that he doesn't want to play Drax anymore. Which
great. I would love to see. He has an immense range as an actor.
Yeah, hell, look at Glass Onion. Like he made me hate that character so much. Like he was such a dickbag in that movie, but also like you can see the work that goes into that performance. So he's a genuinely good character actor.
Well, look at him in Glass Onion, and then look at him in Blade Runner 20.
I still need to watch 2049. Yeah.
Yes. I forgot what year it was.
It's 2023, Jack.
He plays this like really quiet, stoic character who's clearly has a lot of pain, almost no dialogue.
Yeah.
And little tiny glasses.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He's in Dune too. Right?
He is also in Dune. Yeah, he is. He is the Beast's Raban, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll take your word for it.
It's been a while since I've read Dune, but I can't fucking wait for Dune Part 2.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fucking great.
I waited the longest time to watch Dune because I tried to watch both the previous versions. I'd gotten through the one with whichever one was not David Lynch's. I watched the whole way through. couldn't get through David Lynch's version.
Well, David Lynch's version, I mean, he A, had his name removed from it,
Yeah.
and B, it plays like Dune greatest hits. Like, it really skips a whole bunch of shit. It bounces around. It's very dry. It's, Denis Villeneuve is doing a much better job this time around.
It's gorgeous. God, this reminded me. I saw a video the other day of this woman on TikTok who was rating actors Chinese or Mandarin.
Okay.
Like, and if it was accurate or even understandable.
Okay.
And the one that scored the highest was Timothy Chalamet for a movie I don't even know what it was. But
all right.
They're like, I wanted him to talk more in Mandarin because it was
actually
did it. Yeah.
Fascinating. I had no idea.
It was Ethan Hawke in Moon Knight has a couple lines. And even like, I don't know a word in Chinese, but even I was like, that
felt rough.
That was bad.
that just felt rough, buddy.
Yes. So what else we got here? We got Guardians. Renfield.
I'm so pumped for Renfield. That trailer
just got released the other day. Showed Belinda. She's excited.
That looks so fun. I'm so excited for that. Give me Nick Cage Dracula now.
And I'm even more excited for Nick Holt after
having watching The Menu. Yeah, I'm so happy to see him in another thing so soon.
Because I think the first thing I saw him in was X-Men First Class.
Who was he in X-Men First Class?
He was Beast.
Was he? Oh, you're right. Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't realize that.
But then I think he was in The Favorites.
I'm not familiar with that.
That's a good one. That's pretty solid. It's by the same person who did The Lobster and Dogtooth and a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
But it's Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz vying for the attention of the Queen.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's mostly a comedy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Emma Stone, did you know she was originally supposed to be the lead in The Menu?
No, but that makes sense.
Yeah, like I could see that working.
Yeah.
Though I'm also really happy with the performance we got out of Anya Taylor-Joy. I thought she was outstanding.
Well, I don't know that I've seen her in a role like that before, so I did enjoy seeing her. Maybe I have. I can't remember.
I mean, I mostly know her from The Queen's Gambit, which is just a very different story altogether.
Well, I mean, I remember her from The Vivitch, which is
also The Vivitch. Yeah. Also wildly different story, wildly different setting. Yeah, very different thing all around.
Was she in the Shyamalan busted up glass?
I don't know. I have not watched Split. Yeah, I've not watched that.
It's fine.
A lot of people were like, this is really fucking good. I'm like, is it? It doesn't look like it's all that great.
I didn't enjoy the therapy parts.
Yeah, I like the trailers gave me big red flags in terms of mental health stigma.
Yep.
But yeah.
Renfield, can't wait.
Renfield looks fun.
The movie we were talking about earlier is Infinity Pool by Brandon Cronenberg.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, the poster is just like a bunch of like melded together like abstract faces.
There's that one, and there's another one where I forget what actor's floating in like a pool of black nothing.
It's probably Alexander Skarsgård or maybe Mia Goth. Who knows?
Yeah, it looks cool. He has my ticket just based on Possessor.
Nice.
And the actors. I've got Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
I'm interested.
Please don't fuck it up.
That's mostly my concern. I don't want them to fuck this up.
I've gotten what I've wanted out of it, which is an Indiana Jones figure that looks like Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
So I've gotten the bare minimum of what I've wanted.
Yeah, I mean that's exciting enough.
James Manfield
he's directing this one. Yeah, this is the first one without Spielberg,
which is fine. I don't think he has the passion for that character.
Yeah, I can't imagine that he would at this point.
I do need to see The Fabelman.
I've heard good things about the Fabelmans, and I've also heard people say that it's just a giant pretentious masturbatory thing.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I still want to see it, but it
Sure.
also it's not topic matter that I'm like, ooh, I need to rush out to see it right now.
Yeah, that I'd agree with that statement.
There's a couple movies on here I don't remember putting here. Bottoms. You can imagine trying to search. That was not easy. So I don't know what that was.
Your Google search history just got weirder.
Also, Civil War. Which
Civil War?
When? I don't know.
That makes me worry about your search history a little bit.
Poor Things.
Poor Things?
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with that one.
That's how these lists go. Is I put them on here and I forget until I look them up.
What is Poor Things?
I don't know. Let me ask the internet. Oh, so we were actually just talking about him with the favorites. It's I'm gonna screw his name up.
Yorgos Lanthimos? Yeah. Okay, I just pulled it up.
It's his next film.
Is it actually coming out this year?
Could be. Maybe. It began filming in 2001, so I would hope so.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Yeah. But Emma Stone's in it, so it'll be them hanging out again.
Neat.
Willem
Dafoe, Mark Ruffalo, Gerard Carmichael.
The Wikipedia premise says, upon drowning herself to escape her abusive husband, a woman has her brain replaced with the brain of her newborn child. With the help of her father. The fuck?
Huh.
Which, based on the work of that director, I'm not surprised. Although this is based on a novel, the same name.
Okay.
So it's not an original work by him, but it will be in his wheelhouse of the fuck. The new Across the Spider-Verse, pretty excited about that.
Yes, holy shit, I can't wait for that.
Loved the first one.
Masterpiece. Absolute fucking masterpiece.
When I hear people say they don't like animation or that it's cartoons, it's for children, one, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, one that's ridiculous. Animation is film. Animation is cinema. Fucking get over it and experience for yourself.
Yeah. And then sit down and watch Spider-Verse.
Yeah. I can't think of there's no better like champion for animation for you to present to people.
Yes.
Yeah, it's incredible.
There's a movie coming out called Megalopolis, which I only care about because it's Ford Coppola, and he hasn't done the movie in a long time.
Not a long time. Yeah, that's fascinating.
And I think the last movie I saw with him that he directed was Twixt.
Okay.
And it had Val Kilmer in it. Right before I think he
stopped being able to speak. Yeah.
And it honestly feels like the premise of a Stephen King story.
Interesting.
Like, horror writer goes to town to investigate this and write his new novel, and weird shit happens. But it was kind of just all. But this is him doing what he used to do in like the 70s and 80s, where he would dump his entire fortune into a movie and pray that it, does well.
Okay. Fascinating. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes of that. Then.
Yes. On the break, we talked a little bit about Beau is Afraid.
Beau is Afraid, yeah, the Ari Aster film with Joaquin Phoenix.
Nothing about it other than that.
Yeah, I only know the name and the poster that was revealed just the other day. With the varying ages of Joaquin Phoenix's character, just like with a hand on each other's shoulder going around, which it feels like just unsettling enough to be like attention getting. So I'm curious to see what happens with that one. I still haven't seen Midsommar. Now that I think about it,
I enjoyed Midsommar. I want to see it again because he did Hereditary, right?
He did Hereditary. He absolutely did Hereditary. Jesus Christ.
Similar topic matters or similar like vibe of topic matters, but such a jarring style difference.
Yeah.
And by style difference, I mean it was very bright.
It's very that's the whole thing. It's very, very bright and colorful. Yeah. Whereas there's a lot of dark in Hereditary. There's a lot of more traditionally associated with horror color palettes and framing and whatnot.
Yeah.
But,
you want to know what Wikipedia says the premise is for Beau is Afraid?
Please.
First of all, it originally was going by the title Disappointment Boulevard, which I much prefer, but it also probably is less accurate.
Okay.
A decade-spanning surrealist horror film set in an alternate present. When his mother dies, he makes a journey home that involves some wild supernatural threats. That's all we know.
Okay.
Which is fine, honestly. I know Ari Aster's films are at least going to be interesting,
mm-hmm.
and that's the only thing I need to know going in. Like if I could, I think I've said this before, if I could hire like a taste tester
mm-hmm.
for movies, and they're like, you're not gonna like this. Like, great. Or if they're like, oh, you're gonna love this. That's all I want to know. Like if I can go in completely blind and know I'm gonna have a good time, great.
Cool.
And that seems to be the case here because what else do we got? We got Dune Part 2 we talked about.
Yes.
We got the fucking Barbie movie.
We have Barbie and Oppenheimer dropping on the same day.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's June 21st, I think. Yeah, they're literally dropping on the same day.
Huh. You know, when
I might call off work.
When the marketing teams were getting together to like schedule the movies, never once did somebody say like, "Oh, do we need to worry about people having to choose between the two?" They're like, there is 0% crossover between Barbie fans and Chris Nolan Oppenheimer fans.
False. I want to see both.
And then a bunch of fucking film nerds were all like, "These both look incredible.
Yeah,
I'm taking the day off."
Fucking Greta Gerwig put a 2001: A Space Odyssey reference in the beginning of the teaser. For Barbie.
It's a giant vintage style Margot Robbie as a Barbie.
Yeah.
Surrounded by little girls.
It's great.
Like the monkey apes from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
100% amazing. It's so dumb. Oh God. Yeah, I'm considering taking that day off work and seeing both all in one go.
So, which one would you see first?
Oppenheimer.
Have Barbie as like a palate.
Barbie is a palate cleanser, 100%.
Yeah.
I learned my mistake after my ordering our guilty pleasure films for the last episode.
What's Oppenheimer's famous quote?
Now you're all sons of bitches. Was that him?
Yeah. But the other thing he said too.
Behold,
I am the something.
Oh, behold, I am Death, Destroyer of Worlds.
Yeah, that was him, right?
I don't know. Bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Did you say that? Was it Oppenheimer?
Yeah. But like after that, you're gonna want to kind of palate cleanser Barbie. But also, who knows what's happening with the Barbie movie? Like it could be even darker than Oppenheimer.
Who knows? I mean, if maybe we'll go in some directions that the Weird Al movie went in.
So interested in seeing that.
It's worth watching. Like it's a lot of fun. It gets really violent. That's all I'm gonna say.
You know, I'm almost mad at myself because I watched Swiss Army Man a month ago, and I wish I had saved that for like double feature
with Weird, or with Everything Everywhere.
Yes,
a triple feature. There we go.
Triple feature. God, what a weird day that would be. Going from Everything Everywhere all at once, which is the same director duo.
Yes, to Swiss Army Man, which then introduces Daniel Radcliffe, to Weird.
Yeah. I want to say the directors are referred to as the Daniels.
The Daniels, yeah, they're fantastic. I love them so much. They also directed Lil Jon's "Turn Down for What" music video.
Huh.
The man humping his way through the floors of that apartment complex is Daniel Kwan, actually.
I guess I need to watch that.
Oh yeah, it's fun. You'll love it.
Huh. I was like, I wonder what else they've done because they have a very distinct style.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They've done some music video stuff. They've done some shorts. I'm not sure if they've done any other features besides Swiss Army Man and Everything Everywhere, but they're great. They're fantastic.
Honestly, looking at their visual style in those two movies, it comes across that they did music videos. Like very visual storytelling style.
Yes, absolutely.
So David Fincher supposedly has a new movie coming out this year. It
Right.
could be pushed to next.
It could. It could.
2024.
Also, Wes Anderson may have 2 movies coming out this year.
Wes. I don't know anything about either of them. Is anything coming?
I'm not sure. I know that I mean, well, the one that I think is like confirmed to be coming out this year. I'm pretty sure it has like a completely ridiculous cast as
Sure,
he
right,
usually has. I think he has a couple of people he's working with for the first time this time, and then then a bunch of the recurring people, Jason Silverman's
Right.
Yeah.
Do you recall the title of his last film?
Of his last film?
Yeah. French Dispatch.
Yeah, The French Dispatch. That was it.
I didn't care for it. First movie in a while I've not cared for.
I've still not seen it, actually.
It's kind of an anthology.
Okay.
The one section with Benicio
Del Toro?
Del Toro,
Yeah.
and I forget the French actress's name.
Marion Cotillard?
No, younger. She was in Blue is the Warmest Color.
Oh, I have no idea then.
Anyway, it's the two of them. That segment I really enjoyed. He's like a prisoner who's a brilliant painter, and she's a prison guard who like falls in love with him, and it's ridiculous.
Okay.
But the other two segments, there's one with Timothy Chalamet and Frances McDormand. I hated it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, not other performances. Just
the bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Because like I love so many of his damn movies.
Yeah. This is definitely like weird that I didn't like it. I've enjoyed almost all of his other films.
Yeah.
It's also with him. Sometimes I'll watch it, and then years later I'll rewatch it. Like, nah, I actually kind of liked it.
Fair. Yeah.
We also have Cocaine Bear.
Oh man, Cocaine Bear is coming out this year, isn't it?
I mean, Cocaine Bear, based on a true story.
Based on a true story, very important. Also, Ray Liotta's last film.
Oh yeah,
that was his last appearance. Which another thing, actually, that makes me want to remind everybody of something regarding Glass Onion. That is Angela Lansbury and Stephen Sondheim's final appearances on film, and it's them playing Among Us with Benoit Blanc, Natasha Lyonne, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, weird. I'm so glad that scene exists.
I'm so happy that exists. While Benoit Blanc's in the bath.
Somebody pointed out that he's bored by not having a challenging mystery.
Yeah.
And there's this like very famous novel that's a mystery novel.
Yeah.
And it starts out like the book. If you open the book, the pages are all out of order. So the first step you have to do is rearrange the pages so that they are in order in which you can read it.
Okay.
Only 3 people in the world have solved the mystery of this book. And by saying he is bored by all the other mysteries implies that he
is one of them.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. I also think I read somewhere that Angela Lansbury was like, didn't really understand what was happening with the video.
Oh game, yeah. But... No, Brian Johnson said that she was very patient and very kind about it, but then she got to a point where she was like, just you tell me what to do and we'll go from there. Just
God, I don't. Were you with us when we played Among Us with Scott?
I don't know if I was.
He is uncomfortably good at it.
Of course he is. Are you kidding me?
Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I thought I was going to be really good at it. I'm somewhat manipulative and an actor. I was the fucking worst. I was just like, you got me. Whereas,
is it bad when someone watches you eviscerate someone?
I got yeeted out of that airlock so much, even when it wasn't me. I just couldn't. I was the Benoit Blanc here.
Oh
I
no!
Can't do it. And Scott just had the most level, flat affect.
He's really good at that.
Really good at
That's
it.
The thing is that he's a very calming presence and like is able to just kind of like level that off and not have any emotion in his voice. And he's like, no, I'm just over here doing this.
So
and it's that you just take it at face value.
Yeah. I'm like, I know you're lying, but I can't.
But maybe you're not. Maybe you're not, huh? Maybe I didn't see what I saw.
We're playing with Mike.
Oh,
the
Jesus
agent of
Christ!
chaos.
Yeah.
God. Anyway, I'll plan the crime, but I can't carry it out.
Fair. Real quick, the Wes Anderson movies that are reported to be coming out this year are Asteroid City and The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar.
Okay, I think I did hear that title. Are either of them animated?
I don't know. Asteroid City is going to be okay. It's going to be the first time that he's working with Margot Robbie, and Tom Hanks, as well as a slew of other people he has worked with. Oh, and Steve Carell and Bryan Cranston, as well as a slew of people that he has worked with in the past.
He has worked with Bryan Cranston before.
Has he?
Isle of Dogs.
Oh, he was in Isle of Dogs. Okay, I still haven't seen that.
That one I really enjoyed.
Nice.
It was adorable.
It's on Disney Plus, I believe.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. That and Fantastic Mr. Fox, I think.
Huh. Fantastic Mr. Fox is
fantastic. Yeah.
I'm canceling the show. Last couple, they're all horror films.
Nice.
Scream 6.
Sure. Yeah, I like the promotions they've been doing with that. Like the subway line poster that they released is really neat. They're doing the fish out of water thing where they're putting him in a new location. Which they're also doing with Evil Dead, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was talking to Rob from the Cats episode. So they're doing the same shtick, different franchises.
Very different ways and very different franchises.
Although the Evil Dead Rises trailer came out a couple days ago, it looks like they might still be keeping to a singular location. Or ish.
Yes, ish. I want to say ish on that one because it does look like there's a couple of different places they may be visiting, but I don't think any of them are Dearborn, Michigan.
No.
Just
but it is in the city. Whereas I think Scream 6, it's going to utilize the entire city.
Yes, which is wild.
Yeah.
I'm very. I need to get caught up on Scream because I've still not seen all of them.
Which ones have you not watched?
Like the last 3, I think I've seen 1 and 2. I'm pretty sure.
4's not bad.
You've told me that before, I think.
There's a character in it that they're bringing back, kind of a fan favorite.
Right, it was Hayden Panettiere's character, isn't it? Yeah, because they're not getting Nev Campbell back for this one.
Correct.
Yeah, I remember seeing some of that drama playing out. Last year was also like a weird year of like Hollywood salary news and people like potentially not returning to big series. I remember there was that with her. There was the Futurama thing with John DiMaggio potentially not coming back as Bender, but now he is coming back as Bender. Yeah, you can't do that show without him. It's just
Skidamarink is
I've seen this title.
Yeah, it's another one where like it's the scariest movie that ever existed. I like the premise a lot, and I think they're gonna fuck themselves because people are gonna expect this kind of horror when it's that kind of horror. The people who've already watched it, because it's infestible, describe it as like an experimental film.
Okay.
I think it's sort of kind of found handheld camera. I'm not gonna say
interesting.
Like
okay.
But the premise is that these 2 children wake up in their house, their parents are gone, and all the doors and windows are gone as well.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you say gone, do you mean just like missing, or do you mean like replaced by solid walls?
I don't know how supernatural they're going to get.
Okay. Fascinating.
Then we talked about Evil Dead Rise.
We talked about Evil Dead Rise.
And the last one is the Salem Lot remake.
I forgot that was happening. Yeah.
I've not enjoyed the last 2 remakes. Which would have been Pet Sematary.
Right.
Fine. I like some of the ideas a lot. They just
didn't quite stick the landing.
Nah.
No.
And I didn't even watch Firestarter.
I heard so many bad reviews of Firestarter, which is a shame.
I think it was one of the first novels I read, Stephen King novels I read.
Nice.
It has a great premise and foundation. The book's is fine. But like that's perfect. Like you don't have to stick to the book word for word because it's not a perfect book, but it has a great foundation. Do that.
Why didn't they just do that?
No, I got Zac Efron and
I don't mind Zac Efron, but
he's fine.
He's fine. Is that the end of your list?
That is the end of my list.
No, you're not looking forward to Plane?
The fuck's Plane?
It's
I'll look this up just like bottom.
It's starring Gerard Butler and Mike Coulter. They're on a plane, you see, and then the plane crashes, and they have to like save the passengers, and like Gerard Butler's the pilot, and Mike Coulter was like a convict that was on the plane being transported or something, and they have to work together, you see. The movie's called Plane. They named the movie Plane.
Well, it's playing at 7:00 tonight.
No thanks. I might stream it at some point, just mostly because I like Mike Coulter.
I'm gonna shame the director, Jean-Francois. I'm gonna say Roche would be
probably
my guess of pronunciation.
No, you're not excited about Megan. You didn't have Megan on your list.
See Megan.
So I saw that. That's another one where I saw the preview when I went to see Knives Out, or not Knives Out, when I went to see Glass Onion, and the preview made me think like this. I don't know if this is terrible or not. I have a feeling we're going to be talking about it on the show, mostly because like half the preview is just like, this is really unsettling, and I hate looking at this doll person thing.
Horrible Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, a very big Uncanny Valley vibes, and then she gets on all fours to chase a dude, and it's just like, what's happening? Like, Becca started laughing in the theater when we saw that part of the preview. So goofy. It's very goofy, but like every review I see of it is glowing. It's like the most unhinged fun thing that's ever been released, and it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes already.
If I'm being honest with myself, there's so many other movies I would watch in theaters before that.
Sure,
I'll probably end up watching it on, I'm going to guess, HBO Max.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm trying to think what other bullshit's coming out this year. Oh, you didn't mention Fast 10. I noticed.
I have, to this date, never watched a Fast movie.
Really? Not a single one?
Not a single one.
I've seen the first one, and I think I saw maybe it's the third one, fourth one. Oh, it's one of the other ones. Some of my friends are super into them. So.
It's one of those weird franchises that people get really, really into and are fully aware that it's awful.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's with self-awareness that they're watching this nonsense. But I don't know. Part of knowing this is the last one, part of me is like, maybe this is the year. Maybe this is the time I finally go and binge all 10 of them.
If I was going to binge a franchise that I know goes off the rails in a horrible direction,
Star Wars?
It's going to be Hellraiser. Well,
oh, okay.
I've already watched every Star Wars film.
No, Hellraiser's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I need to figure out what my Halloween franchise is this year.
Yeah, you got some time.
Yeah. I think I've done like the classics, and I don't think I can do Hellraiser because I love the first two so much.
The first two were so good.
And I've been told I've watched all the palatable ones, so I'm like,
I'm not surprised.
No.
I'm not surprised.
What happens after Bloodlines?
There's like three was bad.
3 was bad.
4 was better, but still bad.
Interesting.
It was interesting. It was interesting. And we have not watched 5 through whatever. But then
like 11.
Yeah,
12, yeah.
But then you've watched the newest one.
I have.
Yeah. I still need to see that. But
I don't think they're going to make a sequel, but I would like them to now that they've kind of reestablished it.
I'd like them to actually put it in fucking theaters.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why this was a direct to Hulu kind of thing, but
who knows? I mean, why did they put Glass Onion in the theaters for a week and then take it out?
Fucking Netflix, man. I don't know. They just want to make bad business decisions, apparently. Similarly, with Hulu did something similar with Prey, if I'm not mistaken. Like,
yeah, I think so.
Which I think that's partially a Disney decision. Like, that's kind of got like thrown onto the streaming service instead of into theaters. But it was good. It was a good action movie.
Would you have noticed a quality difference if you'd watched it in theaters? Because I've definitely watched some movies that I'm like, they could have put this in theaters, but the quality wasn't quite up to.
I'm going to say possibly.
Okay.
There are some visuals that I think would have been really cool to see, particularly when toward the end, like the big climactic fight where she does eventually kill the Predator. Spoilers. Where like the Predator's like bleeding like neon green in the night, like that probably would look really fucking cool on the big screen.
Okay.
Also, just some of the landscape shots were just gorgeous. I mean, like it's a really well done period piece as well as an action piece.
That honestly, that's the thing that makes me want to watch it.
Yeah.
I've watched the first Predator and one of the ones where they fight aliens.
Man, they really tried to lean hard into the Alien versus Predator thing for a while there, didn't they?
It was like a fucking prop. There was like a prop skull in the background. They're like, "We're gonna get a franchise out of this." I guess you did, but it wasn't good.
No, it wasn't.
So as far as of the movies that I'm aware of next year, those are the ones I'm excited for.
Nice. I agree with that list. I think I will probably still watch some like the big dumb stupid action things that come out.
Sure.
I am excited for the Marvels to finally come out. That's supposed to be coming out this year. I think that is that all that's on the slate for Marvel this year in terms of big films? Is that in Quantumania, or is there something else that I'm missing?
I thought I listed one other one. What was it?
Oh, Kraven the Hunter's coming out.
Shut the fuck up. Damn it.
I forgot about that for a minute.
Spider-Verse, that's kind of its own thing.
Oh, Spider-Verse is kind of its own thing, yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh, yeah, Guardians. Yeah, we talked about Guardians.
I think...
Oh, okay, that's 3 big ones then. So that's solid for a year. Especially considering how, like, kind of this phase of Marvel's been.
Yeah. I hope they can kind of like pick it back up.
I really do. Like, I know a lot of people have their gripes about like the impact of the MCU on cinema and like the quality of the movies overall, but like I really like a lot of these movies. A lot of people.
A little sidebar.
Yeah.
Where I told Martin Scorsese to shut up.
On the one hand, yes, I want Martin Scorsese to stop griping about superhero movies. On the other hand, it's always nice when you hear him say, like, oh my god, this movie was fantastic. Like with Tar. He loved Tar, apparently. And that actually, like, seeing that opinion, I was like, okay, well, maybe I should see this. Just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Topic Matter is never a movie I would ever pick up. But
probably not,
hearing how much people love it, like, I will probably watch it at some point.
That's the thing, like that kind of effusive praise is going to go way further for most people than like shitting on stuff,
right?
You know, it's just, says the guy who co-hosts a bad movie podcast.
Yeah, it's like on one hand that we've talked about that before. Right?
We have, and to our defense, we do go a long way to like elevate the good things that happen in a lot of these movies, and have directly said like, no, this movie doesn't deserve the shit that it's gotten, whenever it doesn't deserve the shit that it's gotten.
And we've also analyzed how did we get here.
Yes, which I think a lot of people don't tend to do.
You see in the movie The Menu, you have the 2 food critics in the center.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, the moment where they thought everything was just a show for them, I was like, that's the grossest thing I've ever heard anyone say. Are you kidding me?
It's like, you realize who the bad guys are in this movie, but at the same time, you kind of want it to happen.
Yep.
Well, specifically Martin Scorsese is the one, because like there have been many actors and directors who shit on the Marvel superhero films in general.
Ridley Scott, God, I forget who else. There's a bunch of them.
But Martin Scorsese is the one that I find, one, he's an old white dude. I don't really give a shit what he has to say at this point. But he should know better.
Yeah.
Because he's a film historian.
Yeah.
So he should be able to look at superhero movies as an overarching genre and put 2 and 2 together and realize, oh, this is no different than Westerns were, or biblical movies, or gladiator movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's a genre that is popular and needed for the time period. It is not a permanent additional genre.
No, I think it would be naive to think that it's going to go on forever, right?
No, like, I look at the history of Western films. They grew with the audience. They grew with what was going on in the United States or the world at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I think of the Westerns as having like the 50s very nationalist, John Wayne type Westerns, and then you have the 70s, late 60s, 70s that are more of a reaction to counterculture in Vietnam.
Yeah,
which I categorize more as Clint Eastwood films, where the hero is an anti-hero.
Yeah.
And we still have Westerns. We still get Westerns every once in a while, but it's not like the genre that you expect to see in every movie season. There will become a time when superhero movies are no longer expected of like we get like 20 superhero movies a year.
Oh yeah, so goddamn many of them. Yeah.
I mean, and Disney will milk it until it costs them money.
No, they're gonna keep going back to that teat for as long as they possibly can, but
and
there will come a point where they can't anymore.
If they did not have Paul Feige,
Kevin Feige,
Kevin Feige,
yeah. Paul Feige was 2016 Ghostbusters. It's a different guy.
I think the genre would have already gone there, but he's so good at moving and readjusting and adapting.
I agree, because otherwise they never would have moved. They never would have started moving away from like the initial Marvel formula with Phase 1. They would have never. They would have been stuck in that mode, and people would have burned out on it way faster. Yeah. They never would have gotten a Black Panther. They never would have gotten Guardians of the Galaxy or anything, or any of the big surprising pieces that we got out of this.
Yeah, and the other side of the aisle is Warner Brothers, and they can't help it.
God damn it! They're just so bad at this. I genuinely do hope that James Gunn and Peter I forget his name. Yeah, well, I genuinely hope that James Gunn is able to right the ship there and like start putting out some quality fucking films, because those franchises need it.
I love those characters.
Yeah,
I read those comics.
There are great stories to tell there, and I think you could really do something fantastic with that. But like, you weren't doing it with the Snyderverse. You weren't doing it with the slate of films that you had going on there, and like the few deviations that you had from that have gotten fucking destroyed. They've gotten scrapped. Like, they just released like more like stills of what like Batgirl was going to look like, and it's like, you're killing me. And this looked like it was going to be fun and good. Like,
I would say it looked fun. We'll see if it
potentially good.
We'll never know.
It looked like it had potential.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, it'll never see the light of day.
But Mr. Scorsese, I've listened to you talk for an hour about biblical films.
Yeah,
and how it was a genre that was needed at the time, or was popular at the time, and then we moved on to the next big genre thing.
Yeah,
same thing with fucking film noir. Like, it's a niche genre that is popular at the moment.
Yeah, it's not a permanent fixture.
Like, when did the first Iron Man come out? Was it like 2008?
2008, yeah.
We haven't really been at this specific genre that long.
No. Yeah, 14 years essentially since it's been the tour de force that it's been. It's not unreasonable for it to have continued going this long, especially with how much fucking money it's been making. I mean, I hate to look at it in just I refuse to look at it in just economic terms, but like, these movies are popular for a reason.
Yes, I'm sure that sound will be great later.
That's fine.
And again, I think if you didn't have Kevin Feige in charge of Marvel, the genre would have moved on, or would have been not as prevalent.
Yeah.
But it's like, people talk shit on Westerns at the time, Martin.
Yeah.
Same thing with noir. Like, noir films were considered classics at the time. It's kind of weird to think that in 20, 30 years, you'll have a baby Tarantino making a genre film that's a throwback to superheroes.
Oh my God. Could you imagine?
I can't, actually. So that's kind of my gripe with older filmmakers, and is that, like, this is no different than when you were growing up. Shut up.
Yeah. It's a different veneer on the same thing, basically.
So let's take one more break, and then we can briefly talk about an existential crisis.
All right. I forgot we had the existential crisis to go into.
I thought we wouldn't have enough to talk about, but now we've kind of we've had a number of diatribes, and we talked about the menu for a long time.
We did talk about the menu for a long time, but it made a really fucking good impression.
Yeah, well, last night I was like, I don't think Joe's watched Pinocchio yet. I could watch that, so we got that covered. But I was like, I kind of want to watch the menu so we have something we can both talk about. Speaking of shit we could talk about, have you heard anything about how people are thirsting after Chef White? on the new cover of Clue.
Yes, I have.
So good.
Oh my god.
I'm like, do I need a third copy of Clue? No, but
do I need the Mommy Sorry edition?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone's hot on the cover of that
Everyone's
Clue.
So hot.
Professor Plum, though?
I didn't see it until just now.
Colonel Mustard, though?
Colonel Mustard, I'm like, okay, all right. Like, you expect Scarlet to be hot.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
And even Miss Peacock's not bad. Not my favorite, but not bad.
But Chef White.
But Chef White, the one I would least expect to be like this. Listen, Ryan, Mr. Johnson. I know you contractually have another. At
least one.
At least one more.
Yes. Give me as many as you possibly can.
And I, before this moment, would never have said, "Hey, let's remake Clue," because you don't need to.
You don't need to. That movie's fucking great.
But if you made an like a highly erotic. Highly erotic comedy version of Clue.
I mean, the movie Clue kind of does go toward that a little bit. It plays with that realm, but
I don't, and I'm not a huge fan of crossovers except for the entire Marvel universe.
Sure.
But
and anything with Muppets.
Blanc meets Clue.
He'd be so mad.
He would be very mad.
He'd be so upset.
Be very mad.
Which could be fun to play with.
Yes.
Oh god, it'd be. I can see it.
With this cast, or these
with this take on the Clue characters, yes, absolutely.
He would eviscerate the original cast.
Oh, 100%. Are you kidding me?
Chef White, though. Are those Argyle socks? Oh, they're checkered.
Mm.
She's got a punk background. Look at those.
Oh,
boots.
Yeah. Absolutely. That haircut, are you kidding me? So,
my question
several young girls are going to have some very powerful awakenings looking at her.
Sorry, I'm stuck on Professor Plum's fucking coy-ass look.
I know!
Fucks.
That professor fucks. 100%.
So does Papa Mustard.
Oh yeah, he's been some places and in some people.
Can we direct this? I kind of want to get like an original print and hang it in the hallway.
Outstanding.
Right across from my two creepy children.
Oh god!
I've made some decor choices.
Yes, you have. Oh god, those creepy kids.
That hopefully I'll never be investigated because I don't know how I can explain some of this.
I found it in Goodwill. I'm sorry.
I mean, you saw the Jesus I painted on the way in.
Yes, I did.
Well, now that I'm all flustered. But do you think her hair is naturally white or dyed white? I can't tell if she's just aged really well.
I bet it's natural.
So do you think she's older but pulls it off, or she went gray white early?
I'm gonna guess that.
Yeah.
Either that or she has aged like a fine wine.
Yes. I don't know who the parent company of Hasbro is. But
I think Hasbro is its own. Yeah.
You know how to get a hold of us. At DeRazzle.
At DeRazzledPodcast@gmail.com, of course. We'll be waiting on your terms.
Oh, God. Maybe I still want to do Caligula, but can we do like a fan casting of Clue, of this Clue? I mean, what's Monet's full name?
Janelle Monáe?
Janelle. That's clearly Janelle Monáe for Miss Scarlet.
I could see Janelle Monáe for that Miss Scarlet. I could also see Lupita Nyong'o for that Miss Scarlet.
I do have a terrible crush on Lupita Nyong'o.
I mean, she's great.
But I don't know if she can. Has she played that kind of character before? Is he overtly sexual?
I don't know.
I'm sure she could.
I'm sure she could. Yeah, that's the thing is I could definitely see her doing it. I'm not sure if she has though.
I'll go looking for it. I follow her on Instagram because, of course, I do.
Yes.
And she just looks like she has the most wonderful, adventurous life. I think she was like snowboarding the other day.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back to DeRazzled's. We're all flustered up in here. I don't know if Joe's going to keep that for.
No, we'll look for deleted scenes content later.
But my little gift to you is look up the new cover of Clue that's coming out.
Yeah, look up the.
If you're over the age of 18,
revised version of Clue, and just who's hottest to you?
Yeah, please write in with who would you know. Anyway, I made the mistake of saying at the top of this episode, thinking we wouldn't have enough content, that I was going to talk about existential crises, and then we went for like almost 2 hours. So we're going to go through this real quickly, just as a reflection.
Sure.
Maybe you also suffer from crippling anxiety and are also a quote unquote artist. See, I just did it right there.
Yeah.
Refer to myself as finger quotes artist.
You did, yeah. You did just do that.
And then that's the whole point of why we're here. Is Jack needs to move past that at some point in his life. How? Maybe now. Maybe right now we will.
Okay.
With these lists. So,
really block the camera.
When I moved to my new current apartment now, last year, I started keeping a log of my activities because I'm like, I never do anything with my life.
Which is false, but
which is false, and I know that somewhere in my head, but the doubt demon doesn't believe it unless I physically hold something to show it. In college, I kept like a log for the first 2 months and just kind of what a bunch of adventures I had, but I would not have realized that without looking at it. So I started keeping a log this past, what's the 4th? Is it April? January.
April, yeah.
Okay. April till now. Man, there sure is a lot of DeRazzled's stuff. What else have I done this year? I did a lot of DeRazzled.
You've done some writing.
Did some writing. I did a short story called Familiar Dread.
Okay.
Which is about a cat.
Is that one of them? Good. Is that one of them you've submitted? Because I know you've submitted some stories for publication.
Yeah, I submitted Familiar Dread to a bunch. I submitted the short story that I read at the writers group, the understudies.
Oh yeah.
I submitted one called of Mice and Frogmen. Is that right?
That's fun.
Yeah. The understudies I really enjoy. It needs a little bit of work. Familiar Dread is the one that I think probably stands the best chance of being accepted somewhere.
Okay.
Of Mice and Frogmen, absolutely not. It needs entirely reworked. It's a fucking disaster.
It sounds like a story in the Venture Brothers universe.
It does. It didn't know what it wanted to be. What else have I done? Went to a burn this year.
You did go to a burn this year.
I got snake bites.
Yes.
Piercings.
Yeah. Which you had lip piercings before.
I had a single lip piercing.
Single one. Yeah.
And I updated it to that. My Chromebook died. Fuck, there's a lot of like not fun comic deaths this year. We had Kevin Conroy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Tim Sale's comic book artist.
Mm-hmm.
Did a lot of work for Batman. I started attending Jerk Circle again.
It's a group of our friends who are the group that goes a bunch of burners. Jack went to Constellation Burn with them.
Speaking of burning, I burned through a couple of therapists.
True. Yeah.
Found my way back to the OG, not the OG, but like the one I'd been with for a while.
Yeah.
Mended some friendships.
Nice.
God, that was this past year, wasn't it? So I left my old job.
Yes.
Started my new job.
Yes.
And then restarted my new job.
Yeah. It's been a journey.
It's been a lot.
Well, because your old job was killing you.
It did.
And then your new job was better, but schedule was killing you.
It was only nights.
Yeah, like the structure of your schedule was not conducive to your needs, which is somewhat addressed with your new position.
Yeah. As soon as I kind of get used to
the early days,
and just the routine, I mean, I've already had more time to do stuff.
Yeah, which is great.
I've definitely also fallen asleep while playing video games.
I've done that a couple of times.
There's nothing like waking up and you're just running in a corner.
I did that while playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey the other day, except I ran into like an enemy fort. It's like I was getting attacked by Athenians.
Yeah, there's definitely some giant spiders. I almost killed me. We did we did The Room.
We did The Room. Emily.
The ceiling fell in.
Your ceiling did fall in.
Some water damage.
Yeah.
There.
Still, what is the status of that? Is that still in mitigation or?
I have no idea.
Cool.
The things are being fixed, just not the one I want.
Yeah.
It's a 2-to-1 vote. I'm the one.
God damn it.
What else have we done? What else have I done? Why does it say P blood?
What?
Oh, that makes more sense. P/blood.
Oh,
as in
that's still concerning.
Right. It was a health assessment. I had to pee in a cup and give blood.
Oh, okay. No, okay.
Yeah.
That's
health,
health assessment would have been a better shorthand for that, but instead you made yourself think you pissed blood at some point this year and forgot about it.
We had Rob's wedding.
We had Rob's wedding, Rob and Christine's wedding from the they met. Yeah, they met acting in a movie that we made, so that was neat.
I went to the fuck club for the first time.
You did? Yes. We've referenced it on the show many times now.
Yeah, I really should go more. So it feels like I feel I'm really milking those like 2.5 times. What else? Hated work. Yes, I did.
Work sucks. I know.
Emotional drop after burn. That was a thing.
Yeah,
that happens.
I've heard that from a lot of people who have gone to burns. It's just like the emotional fallout afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Like you really crash for a bit.
So I was talking to somebody who had a very similar experience with big music festivals.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Absolutely.
Went to Fright Nights this year. So it's been a minute.
Yeah, you did get to go to Fright Nights.
On my first upside down roller coaster. Laughed like a demon.
Oh, wait, which one?
The very masculine Steelers one.
The Steel Curtain. Okay. Yeah. That's. I don't think I've.
Not. Do you know what that
means? You're thinking Iron Curtain, I think.
Oh,
yes, yeah. Anyway, if you're not familiar with Kennywood, Pittsburgh's local amusement park, they do a Fright Nights Halloween feature that has like they convert some areas into haunted houses, and they have a few of the rides open. And I've never gone, but I want to very badly.
It's a lot of fun, especially if you're going with friends. We paid a little extra to go into they have like haunts throughout the park, but there's like a specific like touring haunt called Malice in Wonderland.
Nice. Yeah. Of course you went to that one.
And they had it was over by the Steel Curtain.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of tucked over on the side. So when Belinda and I went in, you go off to the left or right. You choose which way you go. And one is more play on the Looking Glass, whereas the other one is a play on the rabbit, Falling White Rabbit.
Okay.
So Belinda and I split off and
so you each did one.
So I got to meet the evil Alice, where she got to
follow the White Rabbit.
Follow the White Rabbit.
Yeah.
And then we ended up at the tea party to get this rejoin.
Neat.
And because there was really no one else, the fucking Mad Hatter just like screwed with us for the longest time. The Mad Hatter and March Hare.
That's fantastic.
So that was a pretty good time. Let's skip some of the more depressing bits. Had Hazel.
Oh yeah, unfortunate loss of a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a good cat.
She was a good cat. Good flooper.
Yeah. Bushy's still here somewhere.
She is still here, being a chubby baby. Coworkers were assholes.
Sure.
Weird ice storm. Oh yeah, there's a weird ice storm in the middle of like Christmassy holiday time.
Oh, you mean the like negative degree a bomb cyclone polar vortex thing that we had happen like 2 days before Christmas?
Yeah, I was supposed to go to a Christmas party at Rob's. And
oh no!
Everyone was like, "Yeah, we
canceled that.
We canceled."
Yeah, I was supposed to go get a massage that day, and they texted me or like, "Yeah, no, we're canceling everything. It's not happening." Becca and I were just like huddled on the couch trying to stay warm as like cold just leached its way in through all of our windows. It was negative 27 degrees with the wind chill, if I'm not mistaken. And
it was.
Did you have any power outages during that?
I don't think we did. I think we got lucky.
We, for like a 3 hour or like a 2 or 3 hour period, I think we had every 3 to 5 minutes our power would go out for 10 seconds.
Weird.
Yeah, it was very strange.
You know what? We had a really brief one because I think I was playing something and it went out.
We were trying to watch Glass Onion again because it had just hit Netflix that day, and I was off work, and so we're trying to watch that while Becca worked from home, and then just like the wind was whipping, it was causing a short circuit somewhere in our power line. It was just like clockwork. Every 3 to 5 minutes, 10 seconds out, back on, and then it would turn back on. So like we weren't losing much of our heat, and we didn't have to worry about our food going bad, but it was really fucking annoying for like for a couple of hours.
The one tree in the backyard is really close to the roof.
Yeah,
and it kept just like dump, dump,
yep,
dump,
yep,
for hours. So yeah, I did some stuff this year.
Yeah,
I say that my brain's like, nah, it don't work. Like,
your brain always does that, though.
Yes, it does do that.
Yeah,
and that's why I also keep this creative histogram, which is just like so much DeRazzled.
Of course it is. We've done a shitload with this podcast this past year.
Howard the Duck. We had the Cult-worthy crossover. Space World was this year, which feels like it was.
I mean, it was last season. It was last season, but yeah, that was this past year.
50 Shades of Grey.
Jesus.
Fucking Thunder Force. We made it through. We made it through Thunder Force. That is a feat.
We sure did.
Xanadu, Superman Lives. We did
the Superman Lives thing.
Mini saga. The Mark Wahlberg saga.
Oh my god, that bizarre, like surprisingly Mark Wahlberg heavy multiple series. Like, I've got to get back into the development hell stuff just to build up a log of research on that. I've been meaning to do that, but like just stuff's been fucking busy with the holidays and everything. But yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, I do want to sit down and figure out what the next couple of episodes are going to be.
Yes. Yeah, our schedule has seen some shakeups this season.
Yeah.
This episode wasn't supposed to exist originally, and now.
So yeah, I've done some stuff. I think what it is I'm not where I want to be, which is not working a 9 to 5, or a 6 to 2, and surviving off of my art in some way.
Right. Yeah. That's the dream, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and until that happens, no matter how much I've done in a year, I mean, what was it that Spotify said? We did like how many fucking hours of podcasts?
It was minutes. It was 2,700 some minutes of podcasts, which comes out to like I fucking forget how many hours.
But we've done a substantial amount of podcasting.
Yeah,
that's not even to mention any kind of like drawing, painting, or action figure customing, which is something I got into this last year.
Yeah.
I think another thing is like I haven't done a whole lot of film stuff in the last year, which is, of the things that scratch that creative itch, that's a good scratch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Between that and writing, those are the two that really do it. But I would like to find a way to get back into film this coming year. I don't think necessarily production. Maybe mostly post-production. I'd like to see American Curse move further along.
Sure, I know I'm eager to see that as well. Just because we sunk so much of our fucking hearts and souls into that.
Yeah.
Just
and I have a backlog of stuff that just needs finished and put out there. Man, if you're out there and you know how to put your art out in a way that gets people's attention, or so that the most amount of people can see it, let me know. Because I don't know.
Yeah. We're trying.
But, and I say this more to the audience than to myself, because I can't directly address myself, because myself is like, nah, fuck you. But like, you're doing it. Being paid is not the part that makes you an artist.
Right. Yeah. It's the doing the thing.
It's the doing the thing.
Yeah.
And even if I'm being cynical and saying completing the thing is the part that makes you an artist, well, you're also doing that.
Yeah.
So you didn't exactly waste a year. Also,
no.
I'm missing 3 months of that log. I didn't start till April.
Jesus. So, yeah, that's right. You did say that.
I mean, I know in March I had COVID, so
March was a little bit of a crapshoot.
Right. Didn't really have anything to add there other than Chippendale sucked.
Oh God.
And putting Q-tips up your nasal passage.
I'm so sick of doing that. I'm so fucking sick of jamming cotton swabs up my nose.
It's the spin that does it for me.
I don't know if I'm like putting it up there too far or something, but it fucking hurts. Like it just.
Yeah.
Also, just like it triggers my sneeze reflex, and I sneeze violently. Like, oh.
That's no good.
It's like on the times when Becca and I test together, she goes through hers and it's just fine. I'm going through mine. I'm like, and there's just like snot and globs everywhere, and it's like it's like a bug exploded in Starship Troopers.
Thanks, Phil Tippett. Well, I've got nothing else to add. This episode was not what I expected, but it also kind of was, but it also definitely wasn't.
Sure.
I just want you all to know that Chippendale is not as good as you thought it was.
No,
but
honestly.
If you enjoyed it, like I won't take your
joy away. Oh yeah. No, we're not gonna yuck your yum there. We're not gonna shit on your enjoyment of the thing. We're gonna just neither of us cared for the thing.
I prefer my classic chipmunk voice. I prefer my chipmunks to sound like chipmunks. And my mice to be unfucked by flies.
Yeah.
Anyway, come back next time.
Well, hold on. We're jumping the gun. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate and review everywhere you listen to podcasts. If you want to follow us on social media, you can find us on Twitter at DeRazzledPod, on Instagram at DeRazzled_podcast, on TikTok at DeRazzled_podcast, and on Facebook at DeRazzledPodcast. If you have something you'd like to see us cover or merch you'd like to see us put into our Redbubble store, please email us at DeRazzledPodcast@gmail.com. Or if you want to collaborate on something, please email us or reach out via social media and let us know. You know, we're always interested in doing that kind of stuff and have some fun stuff coming up this year along those lines. So, oh god damn it, Jack's showing me sexy mouse cosplay now, and I'm so fucking upset. All right, we'll be back next time where we're short of razzle dazzle you. I'm so mad.
See, I'm not the pervert. We're the pervert.